Yeah, that noise kicked in there.
Mm-hmm. I got it.
Welcome, everybody, to another Georgia Archery podcast. I'm your host, Big John Chandler, and this is where we talk about anything and everything to do with archery in the state of Georgia and Georgia archers, wherever they may shoot. And on the other end, my friend from the other end, Saltwater Baby himself.
That's
Wayne.
right. Here I am again, y'all.
Yep.
It's becoming a regular thing.
Yeah. You ain't got your compensation yet?
No, I haven't received any compensation yet.
Bunch of hard time, right?
Oh. Yeah, I'm commandeering the living room, and my wife is every Wednesday. My wife's like, "Is this again?" I'm like, yeah, again, baby. Sorry.
She better get used to it. It looks like it's going to be a long going thing.
I ain't mad about it.
Yep. How was your weekend, brother?
Man, it was good, man. We had a good weekend. It wasn't bad at all. Let's see, what the heck did I do this weekend, man? It was so good I can't remember what the hell I did.
You did some kids at the Geechee to taught them some archery. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, we did do that, man. That was fun. We had a good time. We had a pretty good time. That was fun, man. I had a good time.
That was on Sunday, wasn't it?
That was Sunday. Yeah, that was Sunday.
What'd you do Saturday?
Oh, I did. What? I did not. Is that what that's called?
Yep.
Why is it called
rebroadcast? You never heard that? You never seen that thing at the damn when you're watching a football game or whatever? It says any rebroadcast of this without the written consent of whoever to whatever.
Sure. Okay. Okay. I guess I can go for that. I'm just making sure everybody it was available for everybody to watch. That's all I was doing.
Oh, okay. just your close friends. Anyway.
Well, you know.
But yeah, so this past weekend I worked on Saturday and went and shot on Sunday. I shook old Poison Ivy out, put her through her paces. Got a little wet in the process, but she's doing her job for real. So I think we're gonna see some good stuff from that. So
yeah, I thought I seen where you posted you went up there and shot.
Yeah, we did. So this past weekend, who shot, man? Well, everybody knows you watched the whole weekend. They started with the Vegas shoot.
Right.
50 of our favorite archers from Georgia went over there to the Vegas shoot this weekend, and we had several pokes medal. Man, I don't know why your mic's doing what it's doing today.
Yeah, I don't know what it's doing. It's actually even crazier today.
Yep. So, young adult recurve female, Haji Choi, finished 6th. Recurve youth female.
Poured out, John. Hold on a second.
Yep. He's going to fix himself. Alinger Chang finished 6th. Recurve youth, young adult female, Olivia Chang. Senior championship, Old Griv pulled out a top 10 finish with a 9th place. Young adult championship, Leo Riles, which is Griv's boy, he finished 9th overall.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see, we had some Georgians placing the flights, and I didn't go into what flights they were. Some were compound, recurve, bare bow, so forth. So Matthew Russell was 2nd in his flight. Michael Spoikin was 10th. Yep, he was 10th in his flight. David Sargent was 6th. Emily Maynard was 9th. Zachary Erickson was 9th. Jeremiah Davis was 1st in his flight. Jordan Bennett was 7th in his flight. No, Ben Brown was in the 9th in his flight. So, I mean, 4,000 people. I just rolled off a whole lot of Georgians that made the list out of 4,000 people. Ain't bad.
No, that's actually a really good number.
Yep. So, Saturday, there was a 3D shoot. And let's see, Gainesville Archery shot Saturday.
Uh-huh.
And guess what they had?
Looks like they had 123. Holy moly. That's in Gainesville. Wow.
That was a pretty day.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a pretty day for archery.
Yep.
I can say that. I will attest to that. Yeah.
Rocky Comfort had a shoot, but I didn't see any posting on scores or anything like that. And then Ogeechee Bowman hosted the youth day down there for a whole lot of fun. What? He's mad. His sound's acting up. He's going to throw it out the window if he ain't careful.
Yep.
Something's overfeeding back, or we'll figure it out. I'm telling you, we'll figure it out. But let's just keep rolling. So how was the youth day? How many folks was there?
I think we had 14, if I'm not mistaken. We had 14. It started off pretty slow because it was kind of like just come when you can. It was on Sunday, and then and it picked up kind of like after church, pretty much. You know what I mean? When church let out, you started seeing more youth come in, and we had a pretty good day. We set some 3D targets out. We set some statics out, some bags. We had the Genesis bows, and stuff like that, and some new 4-Hers came out that were joining 4-H this year.
Yep.
Hadn't been out there yet, but they had already signed up, but they hadn't went out to the team yet. So anyway, they came out and shot. But we had a good time, and we gave hot dogs and drinks away, stuff like that. So Ogeechee Bowman,
got to get it going,
Yeah, it was a pretty good event.
That's right. So on Sunday, Owen down there at Outback Archery, he had a 46 shooter show up to shoot his event.
That's awesome.
And then Blake and Build over there at R&D had 44 shooters.
And that's in Milner, Georgia.
Milner, yep. And it rained, so that made it even worse.
Oh man.
So that wasn't no fun.
Yeah, no shit.
But I shot pretty good. I had a 5 early, my fault, screwed up. And then I'd hit a 12, and I'd hit an 8, and a 12, and an 8, and 12, back and forth.
That give and take.
That's all day long. It was that way. I ended up 197 with I think it was 5 or 6 12s.
Okay.
And a 5.
Okay. Yeah.
So I wasn't mad at it.
No, you almost got yourself back to even.
That
was okay.
That wasn't bad. So I mean, and I learned a few things, and it got wet. And the problem was after that, I couldn't gun for them because I couldn't see. Once you get foggy and all that, you can't see nothing. So.
Well, see, I was almost gonna go. Like I was gonna go out to youth day, drop the trailer off, have meet some of the kids, whatever, and then run up there and shoot. And then I started looking at the weather, and I'm not doing that. Yeah.
Well, I got there a little later than I should have, and so we got rained on. I shot with Danny Beard or Daniel Beard and Hunter Evans, so we had a good time shooting. Okay. And Blake come out and shot with us. So.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's what happened this past weekend. All the folks out shooting. But we happen to have a special guest this weekend, or this podcast.
Week. That's right.
In this week's podcast. Our guest today is Scotty Evans. If you don't know him, you better be better known as BOWBOY on Facebook and YouTube, or BOWTOK on the TikToks.
That's right.
So if you ever seen him before, if you know who it is, let's see what we got here. What's up there?
What's happening, homies?
Oh, we doing all right. There it is.
He was TikToking right then.
Oh, he's always TikToking.
I was book facing it actually that time, but a little while ago, yeah, I was TikToking.
Book facing. Well, how's the world treating you, Scotty?
Pretty good. I can't complain, man. Off to a good start this year for this time of year. Selling bows and fixing them.
That's part of working in the archery shop.
Yes, sir, it is. How's everything going with y'all?
Oh, we're doing good. We've wanted to have you on. We've been, I've been dogging you a little bit, try to get you to come on, make you even go spend money just so you can sound a little better.
You did. Y'all heard it and saw it here first. I'm an official podcaster. I got a Bluetooth mic or Blue Yeti, whatever.
Blue Yeti.
Blue Yeti. Apparently, that's a good name brand. I don't know. It was on sale. That's why I bought it.
Yeah. Well, dude, you run an archery shop. Your archery shop is Feathers and Antlers up there in Commerce. in the bougie Tanger outlet.
Yeah.
And all the husbands that don't want to walk around with their wives all day go over there and spend money with you.
They either spend money or spend a lot of time wishing they could spend money. One or the other. It depends on where the wives go shopping. If they go to the Wilson's Leather or whatever it is, they're allowed to buy some stuff from me. If they're going to Marshall's, probably not so much.
Yeah. So how long you been doing TikTok? Because that's really where you started, wasn't it, on the internet?
It was, and I believe right about now marks my 2-year mark, roughly. It started about this time 2 years ago when I got bored in the shop, had an arrow order come in, did a half-assed job of videoing it, and somehow it got popular, and some other people that were already popular on social media saw it and wanted me to build arrows for them, and got to tag them and ended up meeting them coming to the shop, and it just kept growing from there.
Just snowballed.
Mm-hmm.
And now what kind of follower you have?
On
TikTok.
On TikTok, it's a little over 200K. Yep, a little over 200K on TikTok. Pushing for 20 on YouTube.
That blew fast because you.
That's what I said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very fortunate because YouTube was something I was trying so hard to stay away from because it's long form content, and obviously short form content's my bread and butter.
Easier.
Yeah, it's easier. You pop open your phone. I get messages and emails. What camera do you use? What camera do you use? I'm like, 14 Max Pro.
I do the same thing.
With
me all the time, and I'm like, nah, just my iPhone, bro.
Just your iPhone and CapCut, and CapCut Pro is worth it for $14 a month or whatever it is. But yeah, YouTube surprised me because a lot of people were wanting to see more long form content, which, like I said, I was trying to stay away from. But I said, okay, we'll give it a shot. And then I hit 10K in a month and a half, and I was like, oh boy. So ended up making the investment in some better camera gear because like, well, I guess it's gonna be worth it. And if it's gonna be worth it, I might as well do it right. Facebook kind of blew up on me this year. I thought that one was going to be worse than Instagram, and I got very fortunate with that one at 50, a little over 51K right now. And then Instagram is, I think, unless you're Joe Rogan or Cameron Haynes, Instagram is just everybody's struggle to gain followers.
Yeah.
So very fortunate, very blessed, very surprised at the amount of different people across all platforms. Because I'll be honest with you, I thought it was just going to be the same people from TikTok going over to these other platforms, and I was very wrong.
Yeah,
it is. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what you're getting cross followers in multiple places, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, it's also an age group thing. I've learned 100%. I've learned from looking at my analytics that my typical follower on TikTok is anywhere from about 15 to 28 years old.
Yep.
And then on Facebook, it's definitely an older crowd.
Yep.
YouTube is everybody, and Instagram, I haven't really even kept up with it that much.
Yeah, it's not as big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, shoot, what do you have plans? Because I know you always seem to go to a couple of tacks, and you probably are headed to the R100 this weekend, maybe.
I'm gonna slide out there early Monday morning before work and before they even open. I'm fortunate enough to know the people putting it on, and I asked them if me and one other shooter, because we wanted to shoot, and we try to shoot it every year, could slide out there a little early so that I can get back to the shop, because I know the shop's gonna be busy this weekend, being 10 minutes away.
Oh yeah.
And on top of that, with the rain coming in, typically, since they can't shoot, they want to come hang out at the archery shop, so try to be there. But
of course,
yeah, I'm gonna try to shoot at least one course there. I am signed up for Seven Springs Total Archery Challenge this year. I will not be at Belvedere again, just because I've already shot it 3 times.
Yeah, I knew you said you was trying to do something different.
Yeah, I want to see some different dirt. And supposedly Seven Springs is the biggest shoot as far as attendance, is what I've heard. I don't have any fact to back that up.
Yep.
But I can kind of believe it since PA has the largest volume of hunters.
It does. There's a whole bunch of folks that sling arrows up there.
Mm-hmm.
So, what bow you gonna shoot?
This weekend?
What is your tack bow?
Yes.
Are you in between?
Do what?
Are you in between? I know you got a couple, so I know you got the one it's Prism.
Yeah.
White limbs, form.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the main one I use. That's the one I'm most confident with at distance and stacking them in there pretty steadily right now. But I'm tell you what, that Mach 33 is a nice little side piece, if you know what I mean.
That's what I was wondering. I wanted if Dwayne wants to know, I muted him for a minute because it was getting a little staticky. He's working on. I see him working over there trying to figure it out. But yeah,
he's about ready to beat his head on
the counter. We had it good last time. It actually stayed pretty good for a long time last time. And it's just a cord thing, and he can unplug it, plug it back, and it gets quiet as a mouse for a minute. But I'm not trying to put you out of the pocket, boss. You just raise your hand if you want to speak to me, and then we'll let you roll. Just wave at us. We can see you. But I know he's got some questions for you, but you're going to shoot that, and you said that Mach 30, huh?
Mach 33, yeah.
Yep. So what colors is yours?
On the Mach 33, I got their gray riser and limbs with the bronze, and then I just threw some white threads custom bowstrings on there.
I got you.
Gonna be shooting the exact same arrow that I shoot out my prime.
Just moving back and forth, yeah.
Mm-hmm,
yeah. And go ahead and tell us what arrow that is.
It is a Black Eagle X Impact and a 75 by 105 4-fletch configuration with a tack driver 2.25, a 90 grain glue end tip cut to about 27.5 inches.
Okay. Well,
and it's boot scoop and boogie. And I wouldn't necessarily recommend going that light unless you really know your equipment, your bow can handle it, because it's borderline.
Yeah, you're on the scary side of things.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm on the edge. Yeah. Just need a little push.
Well, I haven't got my new hunting bow. I mean, I know you know that I have switched companies.
Hoyt tour.
Yeah, I'm shooting a Hoyt. So their tournament bow is unfreaking believable.
I've heard that.
But I mean, it just points and shoots. I just like it a lot. Nothing was wrong with my BOWTOKs. They were shooting great. There's nothing wrong with BOWTOK. They make great products. You know that. You've played with their products before.
Yeah.
But it was just time for a change, you know? And they have a bow that looks a lot like yours as far as color. It's called Skeeter.
Skeeter?
Skeeter. Yep. It looks a lot like Prism.
You know, I have seen a few of those floating around on social media.
Yep.
I didn't know if that was
that is a color. My 40 is that. I have that white limbs and the Skeeter 40. So, and then
I done started a sparkly bow white limb trend. I feel like. God dang, come on.
You know, I ordered some of the Prism bows.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. How about that?
You know, they actually had to call Ranger and ask Ranger if they could use that name for the color of their bow.
Because Skeeter is a trademark.
Yep, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, and Ranger, they actually said, so Ranger was like, yeah, you can use the name, but you got to send us a bow.
So they did that.
Yeah, so they did that. So they Hoyt sent them a bow, and then they was able to market their color as Skeeter, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty good trade.
Yeah.
For sure.
But
so I haven't got my hunting bow yet. Because I pushed.
What's gonna be your hunting bow?
AX2, the 32. It'll be in that color that you don't like, that bottomland.
I swear that's two things I'm a major hater on is Matthews and bottomland. I make one post and everybody he's a hater.
No, but you like other colors more.
I do like other colors more.
You know,
well, that's the industry for you. I mean, if you don't like Matthews or you don't like bottomland, then you're obviously a big hater.
Yep.
You know.
Oh yeah, and I love it. I call those people adorable.
Yeah, they are. They really are.
I send them kissy face emojis in the comment section. They hate it when you do that.
100%. Yeah, but that's the cool part about it is like, I've never had a bow with bottomlands. Everything I've always been was either OD green, black, for hunting wise, or way back when I had
You had that one green that was so ugly. I'm sorry. I've been wanting to tell you that for years.
Hey, you talking about my tournament bow?
It was a BOWTOK.
Yeah,
it was
my tournament bow. It looked like safety
Ninja
green.
Turtle green.
Yeah.
What was it called?
I have no idea, but
I forgot what they called it. But it's you talking about my tournament bow, right?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I have a Hoyt that's the same color with white limbs now.
Oh my gosh!
It's funny because that color came out. And it was on BOWTOK only, and I had it, and I got a hard time from it. Just because I'm a green guy. As you can see, Georgia Archery green, whatever, and so I like green. And I got that bow, and everybody's like, "Man, well, it's more safety yellow than it was green. That's a fact." But the next year, Matthews released one with the same damn color. It's crazy.
Everybody got to chase everybody.
But I will say that the Hoyt green it's neon green. It looks more like this green here. This on the.
Like you said, I've never been. I don't think that I've ever owned a camouflage bow since in the past 10 years. I've just always liked solid colored bows better. I was when Prime had the hammered gray. I had the hammered gray with white limbs.
Yeah, you had the trash can gray.
Yeah, I loved it.
Trash can gray.
This year is the only year that I had a solid bow. I think I've always run Realtree. Realtree was my color, like my camo pattern for my hunting bows until this year. This year I got the what the hell is that tan? It's like tan. What was that color? Elite. I can't remember what Elite calls it now, but it's a solid. So it's my first solid color.
Earth.
Is that what it is? Something like that.
Well, I know a lot of other companies call it Earth.
I don't know what Elite calls it. I can't. Anyways, I just thought it.
Yeah, you got a brown bow.
Yeah, it's a brown bow.
Yeah,
it's a brown.
But it ain't trash can gray. And Prime's gray is not trash can gray no more. It's a different color.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't the same.
That Recon gray is probably the best looking color, solid color that they have, especially on that on the form. Everybody says that's their best.
I think color. I told the guys at Grace that if they had shipped the sample bow in that color, we would sell 4 times as many. And
I 100%.
He said, "Why do you say that?" I said, "Because that contrast of the brown and the black with the and I said, I know what you're trying to do is the carbon, but people go, oh my God, it just looks so whatever, it's, and I tell everybody it's a smooth shooting bow. There's no doubt in my mind it's a very smooth shooting bow. So, but
I actually shoot it as good, if not better, than my RVX, which kind of surprised me. I literally just sold my RVX a week ago.
Yeah.
I was holding on to it because I was like, I don't know. But I mean that thing are getting along really well. It just holds really well at long distance. Yeah. I was been delightfully surprised.
I saw you did a video long form on YouTube about arrows and what does it mean and all the different spines and the whole different thing, trying to give some information to people that don't understand spine charts and how it works. And there's a lot of guys that say, well, the spine chart says that I'm supposed to shoot a 400, but I want to put a 200 grain something on the nose. Well, the spine is no longer 400, and you have to explain that to people. Yep. So I thought that was pretty cool. So
It
is spine, not spline.
You sure?
God, that one kills me. That
gets me. And that 3-digit number is the spine. It is not a 400 grain arrow. It is a 400 spine arrow.
Are you sure? So what spline did you order your form in?
Left-handed.
Oh,
that's another one that gets me is people come in, you don't have anything left-handed. Like, bullshit, we got left-handed arrows for days.
That's right.
Oh, well, the left-handed market is so small.
I think there was a statistic I read. It's less than 1% of American archers. I don't know if that's fact or not. Somebody can fact check me.
I think it has changed.
I tell you what, though, I think we sell more youth bows in left-handed, and I think the reason we sell more youth in left-handed than we do an adult is because they don't really know yet. I don't think they know. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, their parent brings them in, their mom or dad brings them in, or their coach, their 4-H coach tells them to go in, and you're left. You go and buy a left-handed bow. So we actually stock more youth left-handed bows than we do adult. I think we only have one, and I think it's the Matthews. I honestly think it is.
And that makes sense. And it's the same at my shop because it's amazing how many people have been shooting for 10, 15, 20 years come in and they're always talking about they're struggling to see the target and this, that, and the other. And you do the eye dominance test with them and they're left eye dominant.
Yeah,
that's right.
And like you said, the 4-H coach, or at least the ones around here, they typically do a really good job of, especially 12 and under that haven't shot before, doing the eye dominance test and saying, hey, I know you're right-handed, but if you can continue in archery and be successful at it, you need to start shooting left-handed.
Well,
so
we know several archers that are that way. Curtis Broadnax to be one of them. Curtis Broadnax is right-handed as right can be, but he shoots a left-handed bow because he's left-eye dominant. And he shot right-handed way back when. There's no doubt he's killed deer too with right-handed. But he found that it's just, he aims better, his depth perception is better if he uses his left eye.
I didn't know that about Curtis. I mean, I did know that he was right-handed. We went to dinner. The first time we ever went to dinner after a shoot, I was like, what the hell? He's not left-handed.
Yep.
But he kills it left-handed.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? It's like,
oh yeah,
dang son, But I didn't realize he had shot right-handed before.
When he was younger, everybody, it's just he was right-handed, so they put a right-handed in his hand, and he killed a deer with it right-handed. I mean, we've talked about it in the past with me and him, through the years, and he just went left because of eye dominance, and it's proven to work. You will definitely see a right-handed archer that is shooting, and if they're left eye, and if they can't close an eye, their arrows would impact straight left, like by a long shot, because they're using their other eye, or they're trying to lean their other eye over there to the peep, and so forth. So, left is actually, I think, is the statistic may be true at the time you read it, but I think it's changed more now. And it used to be that coaches and when certifications we were always going with a strong hand, right? Because you can draw more, do more. But coming to find out the aiming process and the depth perception is so much better. If you'll keep both eyes open, right? There's a lot of folks don't understand. How many years have you been shooting and you see everybody got one eye closed all the time, But your depth perception is so much better if you can keep both eyes open. I have a unique thing that I can be left eye dominant today, and in an hour I can be right eye dominant. It's called co-dominant eyes, and whichever one wants to be better is what happens. So I went
whatever mood it wakes up in.
100%, and it could wake up in the middle of the day. So it's like stupid.
That's got to be nervous when you're in the middle of a course.
Yeah, well, so
that's what I was fixing to say. He's in the middle of a round and his eye dominance switches on him.
So what happens there is I close my left eye because I'm right-handed. So I went with my strong hand because of it, and I close my left eye to draw an anchor and to aim, and then I open both eyes and shoot the shot. Mm-hmm. It's a really strange thing I had to learn to do. So
I didn't know until I spent a week turkey hunting with Brian Kwok, a big man. As he had that wreck and
had to change.
Well, I didn't realize that your body could do that. Once his right eye ceased to exist.
Yep.
One morning, weeks or months later, I forgot how long he told me it took him, but he said he woke up and all of a sudden everything's
back to
left eye dominant. It finally took over in his brain. I'm like, whoa,
wow,
that's pretty interesting.
Well, Darren with Elite, I mean, he switched left-handed because of his arms. He thought he was going. I mean, he's got a heck of a story because he thought he was going to not shoot anymore because he was struggling. But he went left-handed and seemed to come back on the horse because he's been doing very well. So that's awesome.
That's right. Yeah, he suffered from like severe target panic and couldn't even hit the target. Like that's how. And this was long into his pro career. Like he was already a pro. Yeah. You know, and then he just whatever reason, like he suffered with it real bad, quit shooting for years, and then Nathan Brooks decided, kind of talked him into, hey, try left-handed, and he's been, I think he's podiumed 2 or 3 times, he's won a couple of events,
still in the hunt all the time.
Yeah,
now.
Yeah. I love Darren. Darren's a good dude. I love Darren.
That is a great guy. So. Let me see. Who else was I going to? Had one more. Byron Thompson had broke his hand, and couldn't shoot right-handed. So the whole year he shoots left-handed, and this was before you were shooting, Dwayne. But at ASA we used to have the long distance shoot, and anybody who hit that dot at a certain distance would be in a shoot off. And so at the classic, it would be a shoot off of anybody who did it, and they'd get down and they'd do a shoot off, and then they would get down to a few more, and they'd back it up. So he's standing at the Columbus Coliseum in the back far corner shooting a left-handed bow, and I mean almost nails it's an elk, and I mean he touches the paper, and then Tim gets up there and nails it dead center. So you used to win a bad boy buggy. So but he did that. I mein he did that left-handed because he couldn't shoot right-handed because he broke his hand. So he had to he had their cast molded so he could hold the bow, right? Because he's using his arms, not hands.
Right.
And then he learned to shoot left-handed. It was the craziest damn thing I ever heard.
I was texting him a little while ago. That man, he's
down in Florida.
Yeah, he burns the road down. I give it to him.
Yep. So,
but
let me see.
Last time he came up here, it was I think last time I seen him, I shot indoor with him, and I think it was the last time I seen him was indoor season. Yeah. I ain't seen Byron in a while. I don't even think I seen him at ATA.
Oh no, he wasn't there.
He wasn't at ATA.
No, I didn't think I seen him again.
Nope. He stayed. Actually, it was just Jason and a few others from that crowd there because unfortunately Randy had to leave early.
Yep.
Right.
So
now, Scott, listen. So we're primarily, I say primarily, and we want to get more into the hunting aspect of the podcast and stuff like that, but primarily target archery, and 3D archery. But you mentioned TAC. And we've been talking more and more. Me and John talk more and more about TAC. I've never been to a TAC. John, I think John went last year to the one in Georgia.
Yep.
What is the draw? Because I feel like, and I'm going to say this, and it's pretty controversial in the 3D world, right now. I am the controversial person in the 3D world, and
just 3D? Wait a minute. Hold on.
Anyways, we'll just hold that thought right there. What is the draw to TAC? Because we seem to hit a plateau as far as like people who want to come and compete, right? Mm-hmm. So what is the draw to TAC for the guys because you're doing nothing no different from what you just explained. You're doing nothing no different than what we do to get ready for an ASA or a NFAA tournament, right? You're setting your bow up, you're getting your arrows, you're getting the right spline, right? For and your the whole thing, you just kind of downloaded the whole TAC setup for us, which is the same thing we do for an ASA or something like that. So what is the draw to a TAC event that's keeping those guys, those type of archers, from coming to an ASA and competing?
Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
I am boiling to tell you, homie.
Yeah, please do it. Because I think me and John already know the answer, but we want to hear it from somebody like yourself.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, just for a little perspective, the first ever TAC event that I ever went to 3 3 or 4 years ago in Belvedere, Tennessee. We were in line to get our little wristband that we put on our bows and to get our scorecards. Well, I noticed everybody at the front of the line, when they would hand them their scorecard out of the booth, they would walk by a trash can and throw that son of a bitch in there. They were just throwing away every single scorecard. And I looked at my friend who was with me at the time. Y'all probably know him, Billy Hudala. I said, okay, this is about fun. I can tell already. Number two, TAC is as competitive as you want it to be. I'm a competitive person, but I'm not going to compete against somebody else out there, whether it be somebody from another shop, another content creator. I'm going out there with a select group of people that I want to be around. We rent an Airbnb. We make a vacation out of it. We make a 5-day. Well, since I'm going to Seven Springs, we're making a 5-day trip out of it. It's all about fun, and for $130, shoot all 3 days or 4 days. I think it's a little bit more because I think PA is 4 days. Don't quote me on that. And you get to be eye to eye with brands like Sitka, First Light, Kuiu, Mystery Ranch, all the major bow companies, all the Hoyt, Matthews, Prime, BOWTOK, they're all there. Lancaster brings a trailer. It's called the Vendor Village. And literally, if it's a major name brand, it's going to be there. And I will tell you, Sean, the owner from the gentleman that owns Total Archery Challenge, he runs one of the tightest, cleanest shoots I've ever seen. And I'm not just talking about the layout and pride they take in the course. I'm talking about he don't take crap off nobody, no matter if it's a shooter or if it's a vendor. And there's a story I'll tell you about that off camera. But on top of that, the biggest thing that draws people to it is, yes, you can win a truck, you can win all kinds of prizes, but you don't have to worry about the same 3 people winning from each category every weekend. Because that, to me, I feel like deters a lot of people from going to ASAs, IBOs, because, I mean, y'all keep up with it way more than I do, obviously. I mean, some of the names y'all mentioned have no idea. If they could walk in my house, I wouldn't know who they were. Okay. And that's not to be disrespectful towards them. I just don't have.
It's not your circle. That's right.
It's not. It's just something I'm not interested in. Just like they may not be interested in what I do. But I think where a lot of people forget and get controversial with this whole ordeal is they forget that archery isn't something we have to do. It's a privilege that we get to do physically, mentally, and financially capable. Because let's be honest, and I've said this before, if we were trying to save money on hunting and harvesting deer, we wouldn't be using a bow. We'd be using a $3.70 30-30 bullet.
Amen. That's right.
So that's where a lot of people get, like I said, controversial with it. But once again, I mean, the crowds at TAC are, I mean, I think Belvedere's the smallest one, or Southeast is the smallest one. I think they drew 2,400 last year. That's the smallest one.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, I don't know what
that's an ASA shoot. 24, I think maybe 28 Foley. I think Foley may have gotten to 28.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
I mean, it just gives consumers, shops like me, us, people that enjoy the sport, a chance just to have fun. And, if you don't want to go shoot the hardest course and shoot the ones with 120-yard targets, you don't have to. They even have a kids course. Not saying, not calling anybody a wimp, but if they encourage you to bring your family out. I mean, I think for $20-$25 you can walk the course with whoever you're whoever's shooting.
Sure.
And let me tell you something. Walking these courses,
is an exercise in itself.
Yeah, you got to be a grown man to walk those things.
I'm not a mountain goat.
Let me tell you something,
I'm
brother.
Not a mountain goat.
I was so thrilled to see you there because I wanted you to go and experience that, but I was thinking about you too.
I'm not a mountain goat, brother.
There was a couple of hikes. I'm like, God, I hope John didn't pick this course. He's gonna hate this.
And here's the so bad about it is I've said it 1,000 times. It was a whole lot of work, a whole lot of stuff, but I loved it and would do it again. Right? I mean, I plan on doing it again.
Yeah.
It's.
I'm gonna do it. I got a guy that I shoot with a lot, and he goes. I think he goes like 3 a year, and he's always asking me, "Come on, let's do it." And then my sponsor, so Tethered sponsors my club. I'm real good friends with the owner of Tethered, and he wants us to go. He's like, Dwayne, y'all need to go. Y'all need to go. And I'm like, all right, man, I'm going to put it together. It's going to be on the calendar, and we'll end up going. But I just think it's very interesting. When I first got into this 6 years ago ish, something like that, the actual, shooting with people instead of just buying a bow and walking into the woods, and that's the only time I pick my bow up, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I just think it's real interesting that now I can see the curve. When I first got into it, it was all about, I could tell that was the place you wanted to be, right? Was what, you wanted to shoot freestyle, right? That's what everybody wanted to do. They wanted to shoot freestyle. They wanted a big scope. They wanted the big stabilizers. They wanted to shoot with the big boys. That, and right now today, that's still the thing, right? You want to shoot with the big boys. But I can see the curve, and I can see more and more hunters coming to these things, coming to your local stuff, coming to your stuff and going to the TACs. And I think it's because of TAC, actually. I think that's the reason why we've drawn some of the guys out of the closets. When I say that, I mean because your bow hunters primarily put their bows up after hunting season. You know what I mean? They put them in a closet and then they pull them out the week before hunting season, and that's primarily
take it to the archery shop.
Right. Take it to the archery shop, and you got to tell them exactly what they need and don't need. But I can see that's happening less and less. They're starting to participate a little bit more, and I think it's because of the Total Archery Challenge. I think that's the reason.
Well, I'll tell you something else. Coming from a shop that builds a lot of arrows, we're blessed to get a lot of online orders, and we ship them all over the country, literally all 50 states as of last year. It is amazing how many – and this is a similarity between a competition shooter and a tack shooter. Tack shooters spend as much money, if not more, on the correct arrow as a ASA shooter. Now, the difference is they're looking for speed and distance and tunability and all that good jazz.
Still looking for the arrow that's going to work for that scenario.
Yep.
Well, the right spline, of course.
Yeah, right spline. Shooting a left-handed bow, right-eye dominant. I mean, it's and I tell you what, brother, it really, for me personally, especially in a gun-dominant state like Georgia, it really helps my business this time of year.
100%.
I mean, we're usually twiddling our thumbs making TikToks this time of year, but instead we're making TikToks on products we're selling, going out the door, and people traveling all over the country to come see us now. Because, I encourage a lot of other shops, if you're not doing social media, please do it. It's free. I mean, don't be camera shy.
It's just time consuming, but if you can either spend a little time or you can lose a little money, one or the other.
Yeah. And believe me, Lord knows I know. I got a pretty good following on my, even though I'm just goofy as hell on my TikTok, but I started advertising more with my roofing company on there, and I got a girl that handles my marketing and stuff like that, and but I can tell you right now, I get more calls. Hell, I got pulled over by a sheriff the other day. I ain't lying. And I thought I was in trouble on my way home, and the sheriff pulled me over just to talk about my TikToks. I swear to God, the man pulled me over to talk about my TikToks and to talk about the deer his son killed and where I shoot at, and are y'all shooting over here? Are y'all doing this, or whatever the case is? And I had a 45-minute conversation with a sheriff on the side of the road that pulled me over because of my TikTok. I swear.
No license or registration, just like
no, it wasn't none of that. No, it wasn't none of, hey, Dwayne, how you doing? Knew my name and everything. I was like, dang.
That's crazy. But yeah, so they're 100% right. I mean, and like before we fired this thing up, as you noticed that there was a new TikTok account put up the other day in the first video, and you said that looked pretty cool because that's what we're trying to do, because that's print ads are dead. Nobody's reading a magazine no more. Nobody's doing. Everybody scrolls TikTok, and if they scroll Facebook or they scroll Instagram, and if they are, and then entertainment on social media, people are not watching TVs like they do. They can go and find a hunting show and watch it, and find a this and watch it, and hey, how do you tie a D loop? Well, they'll YouTube it, right?
Yep.
And so little pieces of that. I mean, there's several big creators out there that have been doing this a while. And then there's several that are, trying to jump in the market, which is fine. It's not a big deal. Archery is so small that we all should get along, right?
Absolutely.
I agree. A lot of there's a lot of bickering that goes back and forth between bow brands, arrow brands, and this, that, and the other. And I just tell them, shut up. It's just
some of that. It doesn't matter. Like, if it wasn't archery, it'd be football. Well, you like this football team. I like that football team. It's a whole, and that's just some of that's just good fun, right? To aggravate each other. And then, that guy over there, over there on the water down there, he likes the stupidest football team there is.
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
I mean,
evidently, I like the stupidest bow brand there is too, because nobody down here shoots elite with me. I'm the only elite shooter, and when I show up to an event down here, and it's like everybody's like, "What is that? Where is that?" But it's catching on. I got a couple. I sold a few last year, and we got a few in the shop, and we're selling more and more. So it's catching on down here.
We have several that up on my end of the network that
y'all sell a lot up there though.
So
we're at Matthews Hoyt, basically primarily industry down here. That's it.
Well, if you go across and Scotty can say the same thing. He's friends with lots of guys that own shops. I mean, that's the number one, number two in most shops. Not that it doesn't have to be, but it is, And so most shops, if you ask them, well, we sell a lot of Matthews. We're a Matthews shop here, but we sell Hoyt pretty good. And then you ask them about a different bow, and they're like, well, we sell some of them if somebody wants one,
Yeah, we can order it. I love it when they say that. We can order it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other side is they're at the top of and you were talking about social media and how it nobody can make a bad bow on the top end. For major manufacturers can't make a bad bow because social media will murder it to death.
Oh God.
Absolutely.
It can kill things so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Just in one person bark real loud and the next one has an opinion, and of course keyboard warriors get in and have a lot of fun. I know Scotty sees a lot of keyboard warriors just because
they're adorable.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Well, I can tell you one right now. One of Scotty's last videos that he posted the other day, the broadhead sharpening one. That one was a shocker. And I don't know if a said broadhead company probably might not like that video so much, after he posted it, because it was a shocker to me. I was like, wow.
Don't send me broadheads then.
But that's what I'm saying. You're real.
Just to clarify, I actually did all of them twice. I know I didn't show that in the video,
right,
but I wanted to make sure they were consistent in that area. And when I did the sever, I'll say it. When I did the sever, I was like, oh shit, really?
I did the same thing. I was like, I gotta watch that again. Is he serious? Dang.
Yeah. Now, did I grab another broadhead and do it? No, it could have been sharper, but that's where a lot of people,
But that's information that nobody would have known.
Yeah.
If you hadn't have done it, took the time to put it out there.
Oh, and then you got people that are just in denial. That machine is broke. Shut up. No, it's not.
That's right. Well, why didn't you do it to the T2 then?
Yeah. Now that T2 was ridiculous.
That was ridiculous.
166 on the sharpness.
Yeah.
I was scared to put it back together. It's in a tackle box in pieces. If somebody wants to come put it back, if somebody wants a disassembled T2 broadhead and want to pay shipping, holler at me. I'll send it to you because I ain't putting that thing back together.
That thing was super shot. It was stupid sharp, man.
You get it back together, I guarantee you, it Lord have mercy, it'll cut a horse in half.
Yeah. So hunting, we're in Georgia. We don't have to shoot Midwest distances 90% of the time. Mm-hmm. And there's several different options of light and fast versus heavy and whatever, and that's been a talk of the world with certain people on different arrows and different things. So where do you stand? Are you a middle of the road guy like me, or you're like, for the right situation, each arrow is different?
It's based completely off specs and what my bow likes. I mean, typically arrow weight wise, if that's what you're asking, I'm anywhere from 440 to 480 total built for a whitetail. And for anybody listening, I'm typically pulling 70 to 74 pounds, 29-inch draw. I mean, pretty average specs.
Who draws that bow for you? You ain't that dang tall.
You ain't got to be tall. You just got to be built like a stump. But yeah, when it comes to the arrow build thing, I tell people, anytime somebody emails me and says, "Hey, what's the best arrow for this?" I'm like, well, let's start with your draw length and draw weight. And then let's start with what you're shooting at. Are you shooting whitetail? Are you shooting bison? What are you goats? What are we shooting at? Because what I recommend for a Northeast Georgia whitetail is going to be different from what I recommend for a Montana Rocky Mountain elk.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I think we're on the downhill side of the Ranch Fairy Jazz. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I could probably kill any North American animal with a 420 grain arrow.
Have you been watching?
Now, at my draw length and at my I usually 70.
Have you been talking to James?
He's a bow disciple. What are you doing?
Oh yeah.
No. But I'm serious.
I feel like you have.
This sounds just like something I heard the other day. Oh, where did I hear this shit? Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
No, I'm serious. Like I'm honestly saying, because I'm not shooting anything 70, 80 yards. I'm not comfortable taking that shot anyway. You know what I mean?
So go ahead, say it again. What you going to use?
What am I going to use?
What poundage? What broadhead?
70 to 70, just like Scotty, 70 to 72, and I'm 29 and a half, right? And it's about 420 grass. That's usually what I hunt with, 420, 430, around in that area.
And mechanical or fixed blade?
I'm a mechanical guy. I'm not a fixed guy. Okay. I'm a mechanical guy. I don't need to plow through. I'm not shooting through concrete blocks. I'm not doing none of that. I feel like if I can't comfortably make that shot and put that arrow exactly where I want it, I'm not taking that shot. That's the way I hunt. And I've always been that way.
Scotty, and you feel the same way on that, right? You're a mechanical / you've shot both. You tested an assload of broadheads this past season.
Yeah. And once again, if you're mainly shooting whitetail, I mean, specific mechanical broadheads are the way to go. Don't buy 20 Rages off of Temu for $14 and think you got a deal.
Oh, I got a deal. I don't know what I'm going to shoot with them.
You got to deal with trying to find your deer after you shoot it. That's what you got to deal with. Yeah, because that is such a well-used phrase is mechanicals don't work. Well, no, that mechanical doesn't work. And the phrase I like to tell people, if your car breaks down, you're going to walk to work every day? No, you're probably just going to switch brands and start driving again, ain't you? I mean, and actually, I did a video on how I personally thought that mechanicals are going to give you a better recovery rate. I had no information to back it up. Somebody else, I can't remember the guy's name, but he actually stitched that video because he was evidently a fixed broadhead guy, and he did the research. He said Scotty was right. I'm like, well, that was an accident. He says there was actually information to back it up.
There is information to back up that the recovery rate on a mechanical broadhead is higher than a fixed blade.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, I mean, there's no telling why that data exists, right? I mean, I'm all for it because I'm a fixed guy. I like my fix, but I think, and I've only had there's one instance where I can say I didn't recover that animal, but it was my fault, and I can say, and I'm not going to blame it on the broadhead. It was my fault. I shot that deer front of the shoulder. That was my fault, right?
You needed a ranch fairy.
And I had it was one of them things. He was chasing a doe and yada yada, whatever. Anyways, for whatever reason, I hit him front, right in front, too far front, brisket area, whatever. And you can argue and say if I would have had a fixed broadhead, I would have blew through his shoulder, yada, and I would have did this. No, that's my fault. That's completely my fault. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to blame it on the product because I made a bad shot. That's just me.
Well, I will say that shot placement and proper shot execution is still better. I still think that somebody can spend a little money with somebody to help them with their form and their shot execution. Will make them a better archer than any $1,000 broadhead arrow combination release, whatever. Yeah, plain Absolutely. And simple. But I may be a little biased on that because I am a coach. But at the same time, I mean, I tell everybody. I mean, I got we get people come in all the time. I love Scotty's videos when he's on the phone with customers and some of the funny stuff. That's hilarious, man. I love it forever. Matter of fact, we was talking about Mark, and Mark saw one the other, a while back, and he's like, "Man, did you see this? That is 100% right." I said, "Yep." He just got the balls to put it out there and tell everybody.
Dude, Bill talked about that the whole way to ATA. He talked about his videos the whole way to ATA. We're on the plane going to ATA, and he's telling, "Did you see that one video Scotty put out about?" He asking, and I was like, "Yeah, Bill, I seen the video."
It's hilarious.
It's just, but it's the stuff that it's the things that Scotty's saying that nobody else,
right.
Nobody else.
He just had the balls to put it out there.
That's right. It's a perspective that I ain't gonna lie. I was nervous when I started doing it because I'm like, man, I might have some customers think I'm targeting them, but it's repetitive. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, if I get the same phone call or same question 40 times, can't call targeting on me for that because you don't know. Because I can't remember exactly who was the last person that said it. Because I have had people like, man, you didn't have to call me out like that. I'm like, I didn't call you. I don't even remember who you were. I mean, not to be rude, but I mean, come on, man. But and now, fortunately, because people see the comedy in it, they're like, okay, he's just doing this for laughs, which is
partly true.
Partly, but it gives people a really good perspective from the other side of the counter that I don't think a lot of people
haven't seen. Yeah,
they haven't seen. Right. I mean, because there's a lot of repetitiveness behind that bow counter.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
2 degrees or 6 degrees? What's the difference?
It depends. I haven't seen you shoot. That's what I tell people. If I do this, that, and the other, do you think it's going to help? I don't know. I ain't seen you shoot.
Yeah.
Now, Scotty, are you primarily how do you, are you a saddle hunter? Do you hunt out? How do you hunt?
I primarily do saddle hunt. I actually just partnered with Tethered last week officially.
Awesome.
So very fortunate to be working with those. They partnered.
Congratulations, man.
Of course, we have been carrying them in the shop, and it's one of those brands that I wanted to partner with officially for the channel, and they were willing to come on board. So yeah, I was so definitely mainly a saddle hunter. Even though I stay away from public land, I tell people all the time I don't have the temperament for it. Golly, and a lot of people say, well, that doesn't make sense. If you hunt private land, can't you just set a lock on? Yeah, I can, but I'm a tree hopper. I mean, I might want to move 30 yards the next day or that evening. And, with the tethered one sticks and the ultra lock saddle, it makes it super easy.
Oh yeah. Me and Greg. So I'm real good friends with the owner of Tethered, and me and Greg talk about that a lot. And he's like, dude, it just changed. When I started doing it, it just changed everything for me. You know what I mean? Like the whole guessing. Did I come to the right spot? Because I hunt private. I don't really hunt a lot of public either. And I did the same thing. So we talk about that. Me and Greg talk about that a lot. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't realize that saddle hunting's been around for a very long time.
Ever and ever.
I mean, since probably the early 90s.
Before that, I can tell you that I have a customer who has a Mr. Green saddle, still hunts out of it. And, that Green sold out and now is what is it? I forgot. I just lost
trophy line, latitude.
Trophy line. Yeah. So when he passed away, whatever, his daughters got it, and then someone went for it, so it's trophy line. But it's 86 is when he got his saddle.
Oh my gosh! And I bet he looked like he was going to hook up a power line every time he goes deer hunting.
So his saddle looks a lot like the Grit Series saddle today.
Really?
Yes, it is.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't Greg go after John Eberhard's kind of the way with that grit line, kind of tailored it that way? Because didn't John Eberhard's saddle kind of looks a little bit like that too, right?
Well, he made the Eberhard saddle, which was I can't remember what it is now, but yes, you're right. But John, my friend he's 67 now, and still hunts out of a saddle, and hunts out of a saddle in South Dakota.
67, and he's
out of a saddle in South Dakota.
That man is a thug.
He's a bad man.
He is a gangster.
No
in
doubt
South
about
Dakota?
South Dakota.
Oh no, I'd be in a hawk blind with a heater.
Yep.
No.
So, but yes, but he hunts South Georgia and so forth. He's a great guy, and he's been hunting out of that. And then I said, bring your saddle because I want to see comparative. Now he goes with us to the ATA show every year, right? He's just been going with us for years, and he's that guy. He's the perfect guy because he reads, he studies, he knows, right? And he can walk the floor and tell me what's going to be a hit, what's not going to be a hit, and I can take it to the bank for him 90% of the time because essentially he's been in this business for that long that he can say that's a gimmick, that ain't going to last long. This one you need to look at, right? And so he's great, let him walk the thing, and he sends me a text message that says, booth this, you need to check that out, you need to check this out. And I walked him to the tethered, the booth, and talking about the grit line because, that's a, pro shop type budget, I would call it. It's not a bad product at all, but, it gets people into it. And I was like, look at this saddle. He goes, he said, it looks like mine. The only thing with difference is he's got a pocket in the back. Where they didn't have a pocket in that one. So right. He said, but he had to sew. He started with a pocket over here and a pocket over here, and he had to add all of that. And he says, man, the guy can get that out of the box for that price. He said, shit, sign me up. He said,
we sold the snot out of those things this past year.
We did too. We definitely have sold a bunch of them.
Well, hopefully we will be because we just made our purchase for him this year. I finally talked Bill into doing it. So Bill is going to carry Tethered. We partnered with Tethered, so now he's going to carry him. And I'm actually doing a giveaway, not necessarily a giveaway, but
you got to earn it.
You got to earn it.
Shoot right? top score.
Right, you got to shoot highest score all year long.
But it's a heck of an award. It's a heck of a
dude. It's over $1,000 worth, over $1,000 worth of stuff. So I mean, there you go.
Scotty disappeared. Poof.
Yeah, he had the whole butt.
He had a TikTok.
He had TikTok.
But I tell you, it's funny because I mean that's and that's what we haven't talked a lot about this. But like I said, we see the curve, right? Hunters are wanting to and go, and I mean I know you ain't been to a tack, but I'll tell you this. You remember your trash shoot? Hunt and shoot, trash shoot. Mm-hmm. We've shot several times.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what tack is. 25 targets deep, and every angle and position and that you can think of. Right.
Right.
It's a whole lot of fun. It's definitely a whole lot of fun, and it ain't that manicured lane. And you can see this, and you can see that. Shit. I stood at one target for 10 minutes trying to go, where the hell's the target? If they didn't have the freaking flags, and Scotty can vouch for this, if they didn't have the flags moving down to where you would go down to get your arrows, you wouldn't know where the damn target was half time.
You know where to
especially when it's
attack.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You got to look for your target sometimes.
Yeah. So that's what I was telling him. I said it's not that manicured 7 foot wide lane to your target, or 36 inches. I said. Any hunting trash shoot you ever been to, just imagine that amplified zillion times, right?
Dude, I've had to bounce them off trees at a trash shoot. Like
for sure.
literally call shot like I'm coming off that tree right there. Yep. Like good luck. That kind of thing. So
there's been a lot of trees that people tried to come off of and didn't quite get there.
Yeah, they stayed in the tree. I always like to, especially day 2 or 3.
Oh man, that bucket.
Courses, yeah, the victory bucket's got thousands, not hundreds, thousands of arrows stacked in it. It looks like a water fountain spewing up.
Right.
But there's
that's what I was telling John. I've got a shoot down here, not just one shoot, but it's a series of shoots down here that I'm doing, and I'm giving away the grit line, the full grit line to the winner of the shoots. Now, obviously, it says it's going to be like your tack where you just come. I mean, you can come out and shoot for fun, but the winner of the series gets the sticks, the saddle, and the platform. And then we're also going to do a drawing at the end of the year for a brand new lift.
Yep,
I believe that's the bow we're going to do.
I knew we hadn't figured out the bow, but what he's doing is his normal shoot. Like ASA guys come down with all their fancy bows, and then you can go and shoot with your hunting bow, right? And it's a separate score that goes into the hat for this. Ultimate hunting challenge, isn't that what you calling it?
Yeah, the ultimate archery
challenge. Yeah. So, and so you'll top 3 scores or something like that. I forgot. I haven't read all
top 3 scores does a shoot off, kind of thing or whatever. And the difference is it's not so for that class, right? So we're gonna call it a class. So with that class, there's going to be a different looks, right? So I'm going to have, more of a trashy kind of hunting look versus your manicured lanes for your competition guys. Yep. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
Speaking of archery shoots and all this good jazz, did y'all ever keep up with Mountain Archery Fest?
Yes.
Did y'all know that they are no longer a thing?
Uh-huh. Yeah. That's Mr. Waddell.
Yep.
Michael Waddell is his name. that owned Mountain Archery Fest, not the Michael that you're thinking of.
Yeah, I mean, I figured that, but that's
100%. That's his name.
Man, I would have used that as a marketing scheme. Hey, Michael Waddell's going to be there. Really? Yeah.
But he ran it for 6 years, and I said he was one of the hardest working man I've ever seen. Not taking nothing away from what's his name at TAC. I can't think of it. You said it. John. Yeah. But this guy, he was like a one man team, right? In other words, he was emptying trash. He was cleaning lanes. He would set targets. He was like one of the hardest working guys in archery, right? And you could tell he just loved the sport. And he just didn't make any money. And my opinion is he didn't market correctly.
There you go.
I will agree with that because every time I never knew it was in Rome, Georgia, John. I would have went and shot it.
Everybody would have.
Yeah. I had no idea. I don't know what he was using or not using other than just posting on Facebook.
Well, he's from Midwest, or I think he's in Dakotas or something. Anyway, but so he started over there, and it was a little bigger because it was his area, so he knew who to reach out to and so forth. But yeah, I just think that he missed the boat on marketing because it was a great. I mean, think about it this way: if you could go to a TAC and only be 250 people there.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, right.
I already had the exact antler replicas on certain.
Yes, we shot the world record. So we shot the world record course, and so you would shoot the world record elk, right? And they, the world record had just changed last year, so it had the new set of antlers on it. Yeah. We shot the world record, and each one of them had a placard that talked about the world record and who had it and where it was killed and how far it was. And it was set at
what the positioning was. Yep. Yeah, that was real. I read on it. I was like, man, I would love to shoot this.
So the elk was straight up a hill where he always did it because it was a elevated shot, but it was the world record elk was only shot at 36 yards.
Nice.
Because it came in across the top and he was at the bottom of the foot. So
I would have missed.
Oh yeah.
Record.
But I mean, he had every one of them.
Marketing is a big deal for any business, and this is no exception. This is a business. I mean, like it or not, 100%. I mean, it is a business, right? And marketing, the way marketing has changed in the past, and I'm gonna be honest, just the past 10 years. I mean, because I've run, my dad's company for quite some time, right? And I can tell you right now, 10 years ago, we didn't have the competition in my industry in roofing that we do right now. And that's because of marketing, right? And all it is you got these companies out here that are hiring these marketing team or a marketing graduate or whatever the case is, and they're going and they understand marketing and they know how to market, and then they do their homework and their research and they put it out there. So without marketing in today's world, your business is going to suffer severely.
100%. I mean, there are companies out there that I tell you, one that blows my mind is Bill from Wild Bill's Archery down in South Georgia. He evidently has like a really long-standing clientele, but no online, nothing.
We're working on it.
So that's where I'm from. That's where I work.
That's his shop. Wild Bill at Wildcat Archery in Pooler is where he's at. So now you just and he's trying to make that difference.
Oh, well, good luck.
Exactly. In the back, the thing about it is, see, Bill's got a very unique story. You're right. So Bill, and I've known Bill for a long time. He's known my dad for years, long time. And Bill's been doing it for over 30 years.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't mean to cut you off. I thought I was saying something wrong because when you put your finger up like this, I thought you were telling me. I was like, I'm about to get into some drama.
No.
Didn't mean to.
No.
I see what you're saying
just
now.
You didn't know that's the shop he's been talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I didn't know he never mentioned it.
Wild Bill is Wild Bill is the longest running archery shop continuous in the state of Georgia.
In the state of Georgia.
I believe it. 30-year clientele from what I've.
Yep.
30 plus years. So I think this makes his 33rd year. This year is Bill's 30. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. But he started it out of his garage just like anybody else.
And just an archery shop.
Brick and mortar, just an archery shop. He sells nothing else in there. When you walk in there, you are going in there specifically for archery, and that's it. And I just got him to partner with Tethered and bring in the saddles. So we are bringing a grit line in, but he's got a very unique story to where he's built his clientele over basically, very, very personal, extremely like face-to-face handshakes. That's how he built his clientele. And it's respectable, no doubt. 100% respectable. And in today's market, you can't start a company.
It would never last.
It would never last.
It would never take off.
And Bill cornered the market down here. There isn't another archery shop for
45 miles. Where is it? 50? Was it almost?
What city is he in? I forgot.
Pooler.
Well, right out Savannah. He's 10 minutes outside of Savannah.
I thought it was near Savannah, but I didn't want to give misinformation.
No, yeah. So we're right outside Savannah, is what we are. I mean, I'm from Savannah, moved just outside of Savannah now, and he's about the same distance away from his shop is about the same distance away from Savannah as we are right now. But I mean, there is another. I think there is one more. It's in Statesboro. There is another archery shop in Statesboro, but that's an hour and a half away.
That's what I'm saying. That's the closest to y'all.
Yeah, and I think there's another one in Columbia, South Carolina. We get clients from Charleston, South Carolina. Like they come all the way 2.5 hours away. We get clients up from 2.5 hours. We get clients from Florida, because all the way up the coast, because there's nothing up the coast. And so he's got a very unique opportunity. He's got a very unique shop, and I don't think you could not start a business, an archery shop today, and have it succeed the way Bill did his. So he's got a really respectable business now.
Well, I got to sit down with him 2 years ago at the ATA show. It was me, him, a couple of the reps, and we were just sitting at one of the hotel lobbies having some cocktails and some dinner. And I mean, me and him just hit it off. I loved listening to him, talking to him. I was trying to soak up any information.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one old dog talking to this little pup here. I'm like, man, this guy knows his stuff. And like you said, he had a cool story. And then when somebody was telling me, you know, how long he'd been in business, how successful he was, I'm like, man, I wonder what his online sales are like. He's like, he doesn't have a website. I'm like, what?
Nope.
Are you kidding me? How?
Nope.
That is crazy.
And I can't talk you can't talk him into it. It's just too much of a hassle. That's what he'll tell you. It's just too much of a hassle, Dwayne. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. And I'm like, okay, it is what it is.
Hey, you know? If I didn't have to have one to compete, I wouldn't have one either. But
so the story goes, I remember, so we walked by you at ATA when me and him were at ATA, because I went with him to ATA
this past year.
And you were filming with Caitlin. Mm-hmm. And I think we had just put our order in with Morel. I think you were doing a video with the possum. I think that, and then you had mentioned something about his video about him rotating the cam. You know who that was, don't you? You know whose bow that was?
No, I don't.
That was Greg's bow.
Yeah,
that was the owner of Tether's bow.
It's Greg's bow.
Are you kidding me?
No, that was his.
Wait till I talk to Greg.
That was Greg's gearhead. Me and Greg talk about that all the time. That was Greg's gearhead. He brings the bow in to get, and he comes in with a camera crew and everything. And Bill's so old school. Bill's like, oh my God, he brought a camera crew in here and everything. And then he locks it out, and then Bill's like, oh yeah, well we just.
Yeah, so for anybody listening, for just a little bit more context, Greg draws his bow back and something obviously was wrong. It locks out. Now, typically when you lock a bow out, the first thing that goes through your head is where's the toilet paper, because you're about to leave some mud on the floor. But apparently in this scenario, Bill, and if you've ever met Bill, you dread shaking his hand, because your hand's going to be white by the time he gets done with it. I mean, he's built like a shithouse brick. But he comes up and grabs both cams, top and bottom, left and right hand, and rotates it with Greg and lets it down. That is, do not do that at home, people. Yeah. Do not.
That's right.
I swear to God, if I get tagged in a video of somebody doing that for me to do a reaction video, I'm going to burn you down.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny that I thought it was because as soon as you said that, you told Caitlin that, and then I was like, we were walking, and Bill turns to me and he goes, you know whose bow that was? And we had just got finished talking to Greg, and he goes, you know whose bow that was? And I was like, nah, whose bow? He's like, that was Greg's bow. And I was like, no, are you serious? He goes, yeah, it was Greg's bow.
Really? That is hilarious.
Yep.
I never would have guessed that.
Yeah. But yeah, so. Like we said, we're trying to get more into the hunting. We're trying to draw some of that crowd, that tack crowd, to the shoots, and trying to not intimidate them with long stabilizers and complaining of I can't see the whole 8-ring type of scenario.
Well, step one, don't require a collared shirt.
There you go. Amen.
Let me go ahead and tell you something. I'm 32 years old. I'll be damned if somebody tells me how to dress when I show up to shoot my bow. Sorry. That's one thing. I mean, I get, and once again, that's the difference between fun and trying to win a check. And I get it. If that's what your goal is, to win a check, go for it.
Right.
Those guys can do shots like I'll never be able to do. And the way they can judge yardage, if I didn't have my rangefinder, I couldn't hit my pasture out here, and that's 30 yards or 30 acres. So I mean, that's some of the stuff that if these guys, John's like touchy subject. Don't
no,
talk about
that's 100%.
I'm going to be honest with you. The first one we went to, I didn't know that rule existed. I had no idea the first one we went to, and we got told when we were there. And Daddy's like, I ain't putting on no collared shirt. So, and he's like, they just going to tell me I can't shoot. How about that? And I'm like, all right. So if you look at my first YouTube video of I think it was the first one I filmed was Foley. Dad's got a freaking T-shirt on, bro. Matter of fact, I think he's got a Swamp People T-shirt on.
See, that's somebody I want to shoot with right there. If you want to wear a collared shirt and have all these silly little rules, at least they're silly to me. Once again, personal opinion.
That's not I've talked about it. You can drive yourself out of with with rules. You know, you can kill yourself with making so many rules.
Y'all want me to throw some controversy in here real quick? I've said it on one other podcast. I'll say it here. Tournament archery has become a pissing match between brand manufacturers and who pays the most. Because tell me if I'm wrong. If Levi Morgan switched to Hoyt, do you think he's not going to be one of the best shooters? Well, if Dan McCarthy switched to another brand, do you think he's still not going to be one of the best shooters?
Yep. Well,
if Brody switched to another brand, if those boys wanted to go to the crossbow category, I don't even know if they have that in ASA, they're still going to wax the floor because they're the best shooters.
Well, I mean, you brought up Levi. I mean, Levi shot almost 8 years with another manufacturer. He left Matthews. He went with Matthews, shot elite, and never skipped a beat.
Did he really shoot for him that long? Yeah. I didn't think it was that long.
Almost 10. It was right at eight.
Really? Mm-hmm. I thought it was like 2, but once again, tells you how much I keep up with it.
Right.
But
I 100% agree. But here again, we go back to marketing. You have to agree, and I'm not a Matthews fan at all. I am not a Matthews fan, but Matt McPherson is a genius when it comes to marketing. That's just the bottom line to it. And the fact that he has marketed his brand, right? And he's leaps and bounds above every other in my personal. And I'm an elite guy, and I'm not shooting for elite, and I love elite, and I won't ever shoot another bow. I promise, Stephen. But he just is. I mean, that's just the bottom line to it. So.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, I've said that before. It's like it's become a sports like professional baseball, professional football. Who can afford the best players? That's who's going to win the most. Period.
100%.
And once again, going back to Matthews, you're right. They've got the marketing thing figured out. They have for who knows how many years. I will say something. I do like Matt's morals and how he runs his company. It's very impressive in my opinion.
I agree with
I'll
that.
tell you something that I had did y'all know he makes guitars?
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
He makes guitars and apparently writes poetry.
Yep.
What else? Does he noodle catfish too? What is this man?
Probably in his off day. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, that right there. I mean, he's like the Elon Musk of archery.
Yeah.
There you go.
He's a good. I mean, he's a genius in what he did, right?
And also,
I mean, if you understand, I don't know if you know the story, but he had the single cam, right? And he sold it to Bear, and lived off of the rights for Bear making their bows, and took that money and put it in to build his own Matthews company.
Double dipping mother trucker. I like this guy.
So
I like it.
So I mean, that's how he built his business. Is that he didn't have the capital to get started, but he had a genius idea, so he let somebody else that had a company that was working do it, and then he took the residuals off of that and built his company, and then released his bow. And went to work. I mean, and scared the bejesus out of all the other companies for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because you guys, since y'all are both Matthews dealers, and I'm not, you might know better than me. Is Matthews the only bow manufacturer out there that has one sole owner and doesn't have a board or have multiple investors?
As of
yes.
As of still today, Pete Shipley at PSE before he sold the company was the only other. That was the only two.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, we have to. Prime is a little different because that's still a family business.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
But they do have a board and it's a bigger business than that.
Yeah.
But as far as it's his sole owner. He don't have to divulge anything to anybody about how many bows he makes, how much money he makes, or anything like that because it's just him.
Just him. So. Him and what's it? I think his family too. He's got other.
I mean, other people are in it for sure, right?
Yeah.
But yes, it is the only company that I know of that doesn't have to answer to somebody else.
Yeah, because you don't hear people saying one individual's name that owns a company like BOWTOK. Nobody. There's no one individual. Elite. There's no one individual.
That's right.
I mean, that's to me that's pretty darn cool. And, and once again, I mean, going back to the morals, and I've heard some other stuff that I don't know whether it's true or not, but if it is, man, that's an impressive human being and what he's accomplished and what he's built his company around.
They donate every mission bow that's sold. It donates to a charity. For every mission bow, a piece of that.
I did not know that
goes to a charity. Yeah,
that is pretty cool.
Just makes you like him even more. I mean, really.
Yeah.
But he does great stuff. You know, it's great stuff.
One of those things too.
Yeah, and you know, we make jokes about, you know, drink the Kool-Aid. You know, you show up, you got to have your Sitka gear on and your Matthews bow and your Ultra View rest and your Ultra View arrows and your whatever. You know, we always make jokes about that kind of thing. But I mean, whatever, it works for everybody. And Scotty can tell you.
Marketing, babe.
Yeah, Scotty can tell you that if you go to attack, it is amazing to see those guys, and it's crazy to me. Those guys show up in their Sitka with their $2,200 bows and their $60 an arrow, whatever, and we step to the first target and they lose their arrow. And we step to the second target and they lose their arrow. I followed the 6 guys that were in front of us this past year, and I was like, there's no way he's missing that target. There's no way.
Oh, hell yeah. Watch this.
I mean, and it's like, chang, chang, tang, tang. I'm like,
well, that goes to another question I have right here for Scotty too, though. So you hunt out of a saddle, Scotty. Do you practice out of a saddle? Do you practice any at all?
No, I practice by shooting deer.
That's it. I
had 9 practice shots this past season out of a saddle.
How many different bows did you shoot? I mean, broadheads did you shoot at that 9 different animals?
6 different broadheads.
I thought it was 6, yeah.
Yep.
And 3 different bows? 4. Because the PSE, the Hoyt, not Hoyt, the PSE, the BOWTOK, 2 different primes.
I didn't get the PSE out. I didn't get the PSE in time. It was the RVX 34. It was the prime form.
Yeah, but that wasn't your bow. That was a borrowed bow.
Listen, it showed up, okay?
It showed up, and I had 24 hours to get a YouTube video and a kill done, and I killed it, literally.
Here is the funniest thing about that. That bow killed 2 or 3 deer on YouTube videos from different people.
By the time they released
the bow.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's all in who you know and how fast you can get it done and what day of the week you got off.
Exactly. But yeah. But as far as that goes, I mean, is that what you're seeing mainly? I mean, I know you don't see a lot of tournament archers. You do in the youth division because you got. I mean, there's a crowd of youth in your area that are tournament archers.
Yeah.
But as far as the adults go, you see mainly hunters like we do. I mean, I got a pretty good tournament group through because I carry more tournament stuff also. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And I think y'all have done I know y'all have done a phenomenal job through the years since before I came around, and y'all kind of got your fingernails in that market. I tinkered with it for a little while. Yeah. And it's just it was just such an investment. Yeah. And you know, with the quantity of target stuff you guys already carried, I mean,
it just wasn't. You didn't want to play the game. I understand. I'm not gonna buy any fishing gear, so you're good. All right. So, I mean, that's
I wish you would. I hate the fishing department.
That is, you talking about SKUs.
Yeah, that's Big Daddy Evans' department. When people come and say, "Hey, do you have this Zoom triple fluke?" Yeah, nah, I don't. Yeah. Well, did you look? No, I'm just telling you, I got it. Don't ask me again.
We got the luxury of having Bass Pro down here, so we ain't got to worry about that. They just go to Bass Pro for all their crap.
But yeah, it was going back. I think it was 4 different bows because I shot one with my Sequel 33 before I got the ST2.
Yep.
RVX form. My BOWTOK, my Core SS. Oh, actually, no, 5. I shot one. My first one I shot was with the APA.
Oh, yes. I remember that, bro.
Let me tell you something, boys and gals. You got to have your big girl panties on to shoot that bug.
Yeah.
That sucker's like Ricky Bobby. When you draw it back, she wants to go fast.
Yep, for sure. Well, we appreciate you hanging out with us. I mean, this is fun and it's different. Like you said, Georgia Archery, and everybody knows the situation. I wrote down on a calendar all the different. I would look up the dates of who was shooting where, when, and how many times because I just enjoy archery. Scotty knows that. I mean, Dwayne knows that. We've been doing this a long time, but I would do it, and people would call me, "Hey John, where's the next shoot at? Hey John, where's the next shoot at?" So I was like, "Heck this! I'm going to build a website. I'm going to put the freaking calendar out there, and then you can see it.
There you go.
And I won't get 75, and that's where this started." And then it started, well, hey, I can just talk about it because people don't even know about it, or maybe I get some pictures while I'm there, and people can sort of learn about it so that we can spread the word because we're not growing more hunters, right? Just not growing more hunters in general.
No, we're not, and that's a bad thing. So, I think as ambassadors to the sport, right? So you can call it what you want it, but I think we all need to do a better job of trying to get somebody else out in the woods.
Exactly. Take someone, teach them how to shoot a bow.
The only way we're going to do that is show them that it's fun.
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
Amen.
We're going to have
if it's not fun, they're not going to show interest to it.
How you got to laugh or, that's part of it. But yeah, so that's how this started. And then, Robbie came in, worked with us, and he's like, you need to start it back. Because after I started working at Ace, I full-time went into that to get it where to what they needed me to do, and I had laid Georgia Archery on the back burner. And then Robbie comes in, he goes, we got to get that podcast started back. Everybody liked listening to it, and this, that, and other. And so we started, and I was like, we ain't doing video. I ain't doing it. It's a whole lot of editing, a whole lot of time. I ain't doing it, And so we started with just audio. But now with these type of apps, we just all get on here. And I'm not cutting, it's raw, it's real, and we talk about things. But the plan was to grow. And so now, being that we're adding more people into the mix, like having Scotty on, and we'll have some other people on and talk about all aspects of archery, not just tournament archery in itself. So we do appreciate you coming along for the ride, telling us some funny jokes and, spilling the tea of whatever you had to talk about. But, if you want to find more things like this, you can always find it on YouTube. Our podcast is on every podcast app there is. So be sure to like and subscribe. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchats. So you can find TikToks. You can find Georgia Archery everywhere. But I need to talk about, as we always do, who is shooting this next weekend, because I want to get into that. Like you said, you're going to be at the R100 in Homer. They're doing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so you're going to sneak out there and try to shoot a little bit, maybe film a little bit, make some funny jokes, and go about your way. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Weather's not looking good for Saturday, but let's hope and pray. Also, RBO is having an ASA qualifier Saturday and Sunday. So
this Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah, this Saturday and Sunday.
Ooh.
So also the GBAA is hosting their 3D spring turkey shoot.
They are. And if I could elaborate a little bit on that, okay. And the only reason I'm doing this is because we're wanting to grow, number one, the GBAA. Number two, they added a class for the hunter this year.
Yep.
Right. So and it's for like the newer hunter, the hunter that hunts with a slider, right? Not just your fixed pin guys. So they added a hunter slider class this year. And I talked with Trip Pin, and I think they have right now 6 people registered in that class, and he expects to have around 12 or 13 people come out and shoot that class. So if you're a hunter around the Augusta area, I think it's Augusta, is that right?
Appling. We'll be in Appling.
Yep. So if you're a hunter looking for something to do on Saturday, you can come out and shoot that. It's a 45-yard class, so you won't shoot anything over 45 yards. It's going to be an awesome course. It's the same course that they put on the Jamboree at the end of the year. They're doing a 50% payback, and you also get a really cool belt buckle, which I dropped the ball. I was supposed to get the belt buckle and show you guys how cool it was and everything like that, but it's in the bedroom.
Yeah. So
anyways, so that's that. If you're a hunter and you're in the area and you're looking for something to do, there is a class for you. Come shoot with us.
And the other thing I want to go to is everybody goes, well, I'm not a member. Well, there is a hunting membership.
Yeah.
$15.
You take shop pay?
I tell you what, if you come, I'll pay your membership, Scotty. How about that?
But yeah, so there'd be a $15 membership and pay your entry fee and you can come shoot. It's casual start, so it's you come in whenever you come in, and it's 30 targets. You'll shoot 15, come back out, switch cards, and get 15 more cards, and go shoot the other 15. You can either go straight out, you can have something to eat, go back out. It's casual, so that's the best part about that. Shoot, and I guess me and Dwayne will both be there.
I am registered. Yes, I am.
Me too. I didn't say we shooting. I just said we're there. We're going to be there.
Yeah.
Because if it's a monsoon, we might be watching the monsoon.
That's the reason why I said I think I'm going to bring both my rigs. I'm going to bring my tournament rig and my hunting rig, because if I drive out there, I'm going to shoot it. Now I'm not going to break my tournament rig out because it's got too much glass in it and I won't be able to see crap. But I'll shoot that slider class and I'll shoot that with my hunting bow. So I'm not scared about that. And they got no glass in it, so I'm good with that.
I have to answer a question. Hold on one second. There it is. All right. Yeah, so that is Saturday. The GBAA will be shooting, and on Sunday, like we already talked about, Ryan Hart on Sunday, they cut off early, and then the RBO is doing their thing. So that's what's going on this weekend. There's somewhere to be able to shoot arrows. I always tell people, if you ever been to a Ryan Hart 100, you get to shoot animals you'll never see in the woods anywhere else.
Ever.
Sasquatch.
Platypus. I'm not shooting anywhere Sunday because I am from Savannah, and this weekend we have a very, very important holiday down here.
Just because it's green.
Hey, look here, brother. I'm not doing nothing Sunday and Monday. It is St. Patrick's Day, and
on Monday.
I'm going to be downtown at the parade on a Monday, and I'm going to have a good old time Monday. So
I'm going to be pounding them seltzers.
Seltzers.
That's exactly right.
Oh, man. But yeah, if you have something that you want to talk about, send us an email, georgiaarchery@gmail.com. You can always message us on any of the social media platforms. And I have 3 questions for the people who are listening. If you want to answer these questions, that'd be great. What bow are you hunting with this year? It's not, what bow are you hunting with? What arrow are you hunting with? And if you could kill whatever animal you wanted to, like if you could a dream hunt, what would it be? So that's the 3 questions I want people to answer in the comments. But since I've thrown it out there, I need both of y'all to answer these questions. Scotty, you're first.
To answer what bow I'm hunting with, the answer is yes.
Several.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Same with arrows, same with broadheads.
Yep.
What was the second question?
If you arrow was the second question, but the third question is if you could your dream hunt.
Oh, my dream hunt. This is gonna sound weird. I know most people are gonna say African safari or a Yukon moose hunt. Well, one of the high fence ranches in Texas, please holla at your boy. I really want to shoot Pumbaa. I want a warthog so bad I can't stand it.
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata. I will shoot him right between the eyes. Just try me. I would love to shoot a warthog. I've always had a thing for pigs, and that's one that I've shot javelina, even though they're technically not a pig. I've shot plenty of hogs, but I want a warthog.
Just out of the thing. My homeschool class today, we shot 3D animals, and one of the animals was a warthog in those 3D animals. Yep. So
I would have stayed on that station all night. You couldn't have got me off of it.
Of course, everybody and their brother was singing Hakuna Matata, so it was pretty cool.
we love our hogs.
As they were slinging arrows at it, it was funny. It was the coolest thing. All right, Dwayne, what do you say?
Well, I got my Exalt, so I'm hunting with the Elite Exalt. I don't know, just something about a longer axle to axle bow that really that I really enjoy. I don't really. I guess it's because my draw length is so long. I don't know. I just enjoy the longer axle to axle. I'm not a real short axle guy. So the Exalt, my hunting arrow is going to be the 204 Ultra this year instead of the 166. I shot with the 166 last year. I didn't really enjoy the weight of it. I thought it was a little bit too heavy. So I'm going to shoot the 204 this year. That's what I'm going to hunt with. And the broadhead, I'm a rage guy, so I'm going to do the T2 this year. I shoot expandables, and I like my rages.
Okay.
And dream hunt. I don't know. I just an elk hunt. Just is what I want to do. I want to take Dad before Dad gets too far up in age. I mean, he's early 60s right now. I think we could still probably do an elk hunt right now. Okay. He could probably still do that with me, and I think that's probably first up. If I was checking boxes, that'd be the first one. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, for me, because I'm going to answer the question, I am hunting with AX2, Hoyt AX2, 32, and I will have the new Easton 5.0 arrow. I'm going to test that arrow, see how I like it. I shot the Axis last year. I liked them a lot and didn't have problems, but I'm going to go with the 5.0 just to play something different. And yes, on hunting, my dream hunt is actually two different hunts. I would like to hunt elk in Kentucky. I'm waiting on that tag to open up for a draw for outside residents to hunt in Kentucky because I'm not going to lie. I've been to Colorado one time, and Fat Boy is not a mountain goat. That's all I can tell you. Watering holes are cool and all, but Kentucky, But I mean, that's
give me a blind, please.
There's no doubt. But Kentucky's still hilly. They're not going to say it ain't. But yep. I just think that would be a cool hunt because as soon as they let that open and you can win that hunt in Kentucky and say I killed a big elk in Kentucky, that'd be cool. And a moose hunt. I want to go shoot a moose. So that's an Alaska probably run. So that's my two favorite hunts that I've, my end all say all type hunts. So that's what I got. So in the comments below, if you're listening to this and you want to just answer those questions for us, and we will talk about them next week and sort of get an idea of what people like and what they don't like. So, but I guess that's about it. Until next time, I'm Big John.
I'm Dwayne.
And that's BOWBOY. We'll see you.